Okay, let's have a look at Revit 2018. This version is. So this is the interface of when we first open up the program. First thing we need to do is to use the resources that are available for us here. There's a getting started video that we're going to watch, and help, which is really good. Let's try the help menu first and see where that takes us. You need to be connected to the internet for that to work. So selecting that help link will take you straight into the Autodesk Revit 2018 information, and there's lots of information in amongst all of this, which is it's really quite a good thing that Autodesk does. Lots of other bits and pieces here as well. You can go to the App Store to see what other options that they put forward and other programs that Autodesk work with. As well as a Revit community. So you can go into the Autodesk Revit community to log into forums to have a look at some of the information. If you select the Revit forum, that'll take you into that, where you can put forward and you can search all the different things to see what options people have put forward as solutions, and you can post questions as you need to. So, getting started video, rather than have me go through and tell you all about the interface, what we can do is watch the little getting started video that's here. It'll explain all of this stuff here that we're looking at. This is the Revit interface. So that's all of the interface that's going on there, and the getting started video, it is very good, just explaining all about the that user interface. Bit of a tour around.
To get started, you can open a project or family.
I'll let you watch that. It only goes for 2 minutes, and it is worth it. And I'll assume that everybody's watched it from here on in. So hit pause, watch that through, and we shall return. So back into the opening screen for Revit, you'll see here these are the most frequently, or the last opened families that we used. I'll explain what families are another time. And here across the top is our projects that have been, and Revit has already provided some sample projects that you can pick on and have a look at, have a play with, and just explore the program. I suppose it's the best way, is just to get used to that interface. So for now, what we're going to do is select the new button just here. That'll bring up the new project dialog box, where we can scroll down to architectural templates, leave the create new project as our setting there, and select OK. So this is opening up a template. It's a predefined set of things that are in here, doors and windows and all that sort of things, sort of aimed specifically towards the architectural side, which is what we'll be using it for. So after viewing the getting started video, you will know that we've got our tools across the top here. We've got our little properties palette going on here, project browser down here, so you can see the bold where it says floor plan. In bold means that that's the most current one that we have open here. You double pick to return to that ground floor plan. If we go off into different areas and you want to return back to this view, double pick on the ground floor plan. First of all, let's draw a wall. So up here to the wall command, there is a little arrow where you can pull down to look at all different sorts of walls, But if we're just going to be drawing the standard architectural wall at the top there, just select that top button. You'll see there that in the properties palette we're drawing a basic wall, double brick 270. Yours may be different depending on what was done last and everything. You'll see in the properties palette down here there's a few settings and things that come up, and we'll be changing and tweaking those as we get further into the program. So let's draw a wall. I'm going to pick on screen. I'll move my mouse across to the right and select again. It doesn't matter what distance that is there. To finish, you can see that it's connected and wanting to do another wall. I'll bring my mouse up and pick on modify. Modify cancels the command that we've just been doing. So that is what's called a wall, and we can have a look at that wall in 3D and we'll just see that it's there as a 3D object. Right up the top here we have a little dog kennel, which is our default 3D view. So if you pick on that button, you'll see there that it's taking us to a view of that wall, and it's in 3D. So returning back to the floor plan and double pick. So now we need to sort of work out how to maneuver our way around the screen. When you first start using CAD programs, getting used to maneuvering around the screen is quite a challenge, and it's certainly worth practicing quite a lot, all the different methods. So first thing we can do is pan around the screen. So you can see that I'm moving that around the screen. That's called panning. So how am I doing that? That's actually by pushing in the scroll button on the mouse. So that scroll button, it can be pressed in, forms a button itself, and then I'm going to move the mouse around and that will pan around. It's called panning around the view. We can zoom. That scroll button is good in that we can zoom in. As I'm scrolling my mouse button, I'm zooming in. You'll also notice that it's actually zooming to where my cursor is. So I'll move the mouse up to this little icon up the top here, and then I'll use the scroll button and it'll take me there. So wherever your cursor is, when you scroll in and out, that's what you'll be zooming towards. So if there's one to look at the end of that wall, we can rest our cursor at the end and scroll towards it, and it'll take us to that wall. Then hold that button in and move the mouse to pan to centralize that wall back in the middle of that drawing area there. Let's have a try of those zoom and pan in 3D. So select on the little dog kennel up here, the default 3D view. That takes you to your view. We can scroll in and out, rest your cursor to the corner of that wall, and in and out. So it's just simply putting your cursor where you want to go to and scrolling towards it. Holding that mouse button in and moving your mouse around, you can pan around. So we can zoom to the corner and we can pan, release, as you need to. So starting to get used to manoeuvring our way around the screen so we can have a bit of control of where we are going. We can also use, in using the scrolling in and panning, you can use the little scrolls on the side of your screen to manoeuvre up and down as you need to. Okay, so let's return to the floor plan view, looking at our wall, and return back to that 3D view. So just getting a bit of practice in zooming, panning and controlling which view we are in. So we're currently in the ground floor view. Return back to the 3D view up the top here and peek on that. So I need to find that view within our views here. That 3D view there, you can see the little plus sign there to expand that 3D views, and you'll see that it says 3D is in those little brackets, which indicates, and it's bold, so that indicates the current view that we're in. So I can double pick on the floor plan to return to there, or I can double pick on that 3D view there. It's picking on that, double picking that 3D view is exactly the same as the default 3D view button up the top. It's just a shortcut to have it up the top there. So from floor plan view, you can pick on the little dog kennel to go to that view. Okay, orbit. Orbit's a pretty cool command. So when you're in a 3D view, what we can do is you can hold down the shift button on your keyboard with your left hand if you use a right-handed mouse. Hold down the shift, and now when you push your button in, as you were doing for the pan earlier, holding in the scroll button and moving your mouse, you'll notice that we are orbiting around that wall. So we can let everything go. We can scroll into the corner of that wall. I can hold the shift command, push down the button on the mouse, and rotate around and orbit around that wall. We can select that wall, hold down shift and scroll around, and it'll orbit around that wall. So if you want to go to the other side of the wall to look at it, you can orbit to the other side. You can then use your zoom in and out and pan by holding the scroll button in. So we've done the zoom in and out, we've done panning backwards and forwards, and by holding shift we can use orbit as well. So that's the three commands that are they're pretty handy to be able to give you a bit of control. If you need to go to a specific view and have a look at something on a certain angle, we can also use some preset angles and things within Revit, and that's by using this view cube up in the corner here. So this is a terrific one. This you'll notice as you bring your cursor over the view cube that it highlights in different areas. So what I'll do is I'll just rest on that corner and pick it once, and it'll take me to that isometric view. We can go to the four corners. As you select them, it takes you to that view. You can go top and look directly down on top in 3D. Back to a corner, and you'll see that there's all sorts of different angles that we can set up. We can look directly at the side of the wall, or the front of the wall, or the isometric views whenever you need to. And if you pick on the home button, it'll take us back to our original isometric view on that angle there. Okay, so we've had a look and we start to maneuver our way around that wall. Let's pop a window in that wall. So I'm just going to scroll in nice and close so I can see what's going on. And up on the top here, I'm in the in amongst these tabs. If you've been exploring and you haven't got a window button there, then just make sure you pick on the architecture tab across the top there. Pick on window, and then we can locate and pick on and place that window. You'll see there that the window actually cuts its way into the wall. As you rest over, you'll see where that window is ready to be placed, where you can rest over that wall and pick, and it places the window in the wall, and we can see that in our plan view. Just pick modify to finalize the command. Now let's have a look at that window in 3D, and we'll just see what it looks like. So if we go to the 3D, we can see the windows that we just placed, and we can scroll in towards those windows and back out again. I can hold down the shift and my scroll button and rotate around to look at the other side of that window. You can see the window frame is set to one side of the wall, with the reveal on the inside there like that. we can also actually place the windows in this 3D view. So go to the window command, and as you bring your cursor along that wall, you'll see that it comes up. You'll also notice that if I bring that window outside the wall, we get this little cross section. That's just letting us know that a window is like, it needs to be hosted by a wall. You can't just place a window in the middle of nowhere. It actually needs to a wall to be hosted into. So you can place those windows in 3D and modify to cancel, return to the floor plan view, and you'll see those windows appearing as we go. 3 windows, and there's actually 4 in there. There's many different reasons why that is there. Basically the height of that window, if I drag it down a bit lower, return to the floor plan view, you'll see that window come up. More on that later. So just back in the 3D, we can use the view cube to spin around and have a look at the different views. We can go to the straight view, looking in 3D at an angle like that, or on many different angles, even from up from underneath, and looking directly underneath a view if you ever need to, and selecting home button to return back to our isometric view. So returning to the ground floor view, so double picking on the ground floor, we can now place a door. Select the door command, resting over the wall until the door appears. Again, we get the little cross saying that it's not appearing, and bring your mouse down and select on the wall. Select modify to finalize the command, and let's have a look at that wall in 3D. That door, sorry. We can use the view cube to spin around and look at that door in all the different angles. We can hold shift and use the mouse by holding the scroll button in to orbit around. I can zoom into that door. We can see the architraves, and if I want to swap that door to the other side, it looks like the door's on the inside of that wall, I can flip it back to the other side. So I'll return to the floor plan by bringing my cursor to the floor plan, double picking on that view and selecting that door. We get these little flip icons where I can flip that door to the inside. Return to the 3D view, and we'll see now the door is on the outside of that wall. Back to the floor plan, and I can actually flip that door, so it can be a left hand swing or a right hand swing. We have those different options. So that door, when you select on that door like that, you'll notice that it's coming up over here in the little selection area here. So if you pick on that, the little pull down arrow lets you know that there are other options, and this is our type selector, and we've got different size doors here. And as I select onto the 915 door here, you'll notice that the door will change size. So that's now a bigger door. I can change it back to a smaller door, and so it's a live change. And when we change something here, we go to the 3D view. Obviously it's still the same object that we are looking at. That's now the bigger door. You can actually change the door in this view as well. Change it back to the smaller door, and it'll be the size. And again, the floor plan view is already changed to that side. So it's the one object that we are looking at. And if you watch the getting started video, you may have noticed the view tile window option as well. So you can actually have your floor plan view and your 3D view on screen at the same time, so you can pick on that door and you'll notice that that door is turned blue, which means it's the one that's being selected. Pick on a window and we can come back to here, flip the window to the other side. So the objective with this is just to have a bit of a play. If you want to take that back in from being split screen back into one, just maximise in the middle there and that'll take it back into one, and you can pick on the 3D, which is that view there, ground floor plan, take it back to there like that. So just a quick getting started, getting your head around how to manoeuvre around the screen, how to add a door and a window, just to get started.